Hello and welcome back to another video from the Tradelands Nation. Today we are coming to you from our world headquarters here in Studio 2A at the Red House on Whitecrest Island. And this is our monthly world report. We start today with a look at the stock market during the last closing bell of 2022. The MNG 15 remains flat for the second month in a row, closing up 150 points for the month. The switch to ice mining happened too late to have a noticeable impact on the overall performance for December. The JSI index closes down almost 7%, wiping out nearly all of its gains from November. And a disappointing finish to the year for the beleaguered index. The late addition of ships to the game did little to impact the performance of the market this month, but sets futures up 4%. Finally, the earnings index ends with some positive news for Tradelands, up 3.13% for the year and closes at 52.22. Still, the index underperformed expectations, which were set at 8% for December, due in part to a late start to the season, which usually sees a boom in the economy, and also due to Nova Balreska's blockade order to attempt a cancellation of all non-sanctioned festivities this year. But with Berkland defying this order, allowing the markets to remain open throughout the season, we still see gains through the month. December also brings the close of 2022, and with it, analysts have completed their review of the year, which was disappointing from an economic standpoint. The year saw 12% of all the wealth in Tradelands vanish as a result of the Proshovia's meddling in the Grand Isles, sparking a 6-month recession, which caused markets to see steep declines and a recovery that is still in progress to this day. Despite this, there were some highlights worth mentioning. Spruce managed to defy market projections, ending up 33% for the year, whereas the rest of the wood market saw losses across the board. This wood, which is only available through timber felling, was subject to very careful price management conducted by 1 or 2 trading groups that managed to keep the prices consistent throughout the recession, and leading to it becoming one of the best overall investments in 2022 and a textbook example of how to do price point management effectively. Another positive outlook is the Dead Man's Gargoyle figurehead, which was consistently undervalued and a great steal for buyers, and it allowed players to get a cheap premium item due to a misalignment of the price points for this figurehead. However, in the same vein, Skelestone saw the opposite trend and continues to be overpriced, benefiting sellers but not buyers. But this price point is slowly sinking to its true price point, a trend which can be expected to continue into 2023. Several new ships were brought to the Grand Isles this year as well. The Grouse and the Kirin are 2 notable examples that have become popular among shipbuilders and had a direct impact in 2022. Despite the ongoing concerns of pirating, these ships have become regular appearances in the game along with the Demeter. The year was capped off with the addition of the Ceres and the Mercury, the latter of which promises to supplement navies who are willing to combat the pirate threat, as well as continue interests in adopting steamships through the various trade factions in the Grand Isles. In other world news, the War of Nova Balreskan aggression has ended. The great powers of the region have decided not to interfere with Nova's activities. Penelope Perth is said to be under house arrest following Perth's defeat. However, rumor has it that she has secretly sent out a missive to her contacts in Inyola. Its contents unknown, but believed to be a plea to negotiate for assistance against Nova Balreska. However, Nova Balreskan leadership has denied this, stating that Penelope is pleased to once again be a part of the Nova family and is thankful for their willingness to sacrifice their very lives to ensure Perth remains a free territory within the Nova Balreskan Empire. As such, no missive would need to be sent to Inyola, since no assistance from them would be required. As a result of this news, the timing of a new Inyolan fleet appearing in the Grand Isles seems to be just merely coincidental. Following an attempt to establish contact last month, the Inyolans hailing from Merope has brought with it crates full of the luxury wood Inyolan Oak. The markets throughout the Tradelands are rejoicing as they happily pay premium tokens, which is one of the only internationally recognized currencies outside of the Grand Isles, in order to purchase the material and restock all of the local warehouses. As a result of its reintroduction, prices appear to be stabilizing around 8,000 per piece. But Inyolan Oak is expected to rise to over 10,000 per piece once the Inyolan fleets return back home in January. The addition of cladifiers have caused a run on the market for premium tokens. Along with Inyolan Oak, which also factors into this since it can only be bought with premium tokens, those who were not stocked up on this token in advance are now stuck with an explosion in prices for the internationally recognized currency. What normally trades at 200 to 250 per piece, and even started the month at 241 per piece, is now up over 300 per piece on average and is expected to continue rising until mid-January before it will stabilize. And finally, in other news, there are rumors that the Kingdom of Whitecrest may be on the verge of a civil war. This follows the recent territorial gains by Nova Balresca, the suffering this has placed on the citizens of Whitecrest as well as other nations, and the inability of Whitecrest's leadership to do anything about this has ultimately led to a demand for new leadership. If true, it seems as though the military arm of Whitecrest has agreed to hold an election for the next king. An election will most likely be internal to the Whitecrest Navy alone, which means the needs of the many ordinary citizens will not likely play a factor. Beyond the impact, or non-impact, the Whitecrest Navy and her allies can bring to the Grand Isles. As a result, many are reluctant to voice their concerns for this military junta that's running the kingdom, since the alternative is to allow the entirety of the Tradelands to be managed by the Nova Balrescan Navy, a fate which the rest of the world, including Pershovia and Berkland, seem to believe will be beneficial overall. And thus, the fate of the remaining free world may rest in the outcome of this election, making it perhaps the most significant and important decision that will be made all year. We wish all the citizens of Whitecrest good luck and safe travels while this choice is being made, for the traders of the Tradelands are depending on you. Happy trading, everyone.